Well, before you leave, and speaking of some modern comics, we got to look at the new X-Men crew here. They're doing 3 separate books, and I guess this is one that was making the rounds here now of one of the groups. Just wanted to get your take on it, Culture and Eric, before you guys had to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the worst of the 3 new XMNE ongoings, Exceptional X-Men. Exceptional X-Men is set in Chicago following Kitty Pryde as she tries to...
They're all going to get shot
behind Kitty and will try to be a barista. But meeting a group of fledgling mutants with guidance pulls her back in as a teacher to the new mutants. Emma Frost shows up to help lead these young mutants. Bronze, Axo, and Mealy, written by Eve L. Ewing, inked by Carmen Canero. How do you say that? Serino?
Wait, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus. Kitty as a barista. Oh, yeah. Truly thrilling stuff. Oh, and the art. Nice to see the students are impossible to tell their gender. Yeah, it looks horrible. It looks like this individual
can save space.
Exactly. They compare it to the New Warriors, and the
good.
comments are coming in the same way. Like,
Hold on,
what
did that say?
Is that guy writing it?
It says they don't take on the. Oh, well, she meant Kibblesmith. I was like
Kibbles and Bits. Yeah.
Now I'm sure they're all gay.
Oh, well,
because the X-Men are gay now. On Krakoa, it's
definitely
like
that
90%,
one in the middle. Wait, that's a woman, I think.
90% of the X-Men are gay, and I'm not even joking. Like every X-Men is gay now.
Well, you know what? I mean, since it's happening in Chicago, their headquarters could be an abandoned Walmart.
That's true. Yeah, could set it up.
Yeah, they got 2 abandoned Walmarts they can use. Jeez.
And that
I hope that they're. I was gonna say, I hope they're bulletproof.
The one on the left is going to be the one on the left who's actually in that sexy pose. That's going to be a trans woman.
No, that's Emma. They've already fucked that character up.
She's supposed to be sexy all the time.
Yeah, but this is interesting. They don't know what to do with the X-Men, man. They tried. They had a short run with Hickman, and
it started off good.
Yeah, it was the whole powers of X and all that stuff, and man, some of those stories were okay, and then it got just weird with like X Factor, and
they pushed him off.
X-Force, and they killed off Kitty Pryde at the beginning of that. It was all weird, man.
They resurrect her though.
Yeah, they resurrect them all. There's no consequence.
They're all clones now. Every X-Man
they can be brought back with the stupid egg shit. So like, there is no consequence there.
I'm glad I don't buy comic books anymore.
It's sad to see because this brand used to be a powerhouse, and no, they've fucked it up.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was using this as a segue bit because I don't know how much longer you guys got, but kind of wanted to get, especially Eric's feelings on the Beau De Mayo situation with X-Men 97, and all the goings on over there, because we have a little bit of an update, don't we, Andre?
Yeah, a little bit, and we don't have the full details here, but this is something that comes from Jeff Snyder, one of the insiders. He has most of his scoop is behind a paywall, but the gist of it is that Beau De Mayo was reportedly an absolute nightmare to deal with on a daily basis, and on top of that, his behavior on OnlyFans was described by Disney executives as creepy. And I don't have any more details than that in this moment, but that gives us a little bit more to go on. It was a nightmare. We do not know exactly what was meant by that. But of course, when you look at the kind of people that Marvel actively recruits and hires right now, who is surprised that they came by a nightmare, and him being on OnlyFans was creepy even for OnlyFans. So, yeah.
I would have thought that as far as Disney's concerned, being a nightmare would be a qualification.
I mean, they knew what they were getting themselves into, because I remember the initial reports that he was going to be a part of this, De Mayo or whatever, and they were really leaning into the whole he was gay and black. Obviously, they were really and that was going to have an impact on the story that they told. I mean, I might be quoting it verbatim there. So they knew what they were getting themselves into, but apparently they thought that they were using it to their advantage, and I guess maybe it's not advantageous to them anymore.
Well, they're trying to rapidly like bail on all of these problems that they're having at Disney right now because of the Pelts challenge. So a lot of stuff is being dropped right now, like they're canceling films and all kinds of other things.
But I don't get it. Like, this guy did a horrific job on Moon Knight. Let's give him another project.
Well, look at Madam Web. Look at all the stuff those guys did, you know.
Yeah, but they're not gay or
They
black.
just fail upwards in Hollywood.
That's just it. Like,
oh, that's true.
That's just it. And this is not new. He's been on this OnlyFans, his Bonelyfans, as he calls it, BAEAUNO OnlyFans, like his name, not Bone.
Very punny.
Yeah, but it's also punny. They've known about this. Like, this has been out there for 2 years. There was even a write-up about it and out. So it's not like this was a secret. I think at this point, with the way things are going, unless something major comes out, which at this point I'm still questioning what could be out there, because if it's criminal activity, he would already been busted, right? We'd already heard about it. We'd have known exactly what it is. Maybe it's
furry porn.
Frankly, I'm gonna say, well, I could accept that. Yellow Flash, you're right about that. Freaking weirdos. But anyway, no. At the end of the day, I'm just kidding. But I really don't know what it could be. I'm starting to wonder if, well, you might be right. I don't think they had a problem with the shit.
Got
up
one of
until
those
this point.
tails up his ass.
The point I was getting to is I feel like this might be more of a situation where they're just using this as an excuse to get rid of him. Like, they've already known about this for a while, because the timing of this goes back about 2 weeks. And what happened 2 weeks ago, that's when they dropped the initial trailer and we got that write-up from Empire where we learned about all these characters. And like Eric just pointed out, not only did they want this guy because he was black and gay, they encouraged it.
Yeah,
they said it in all the interviews.
Like, look, man, it's one thing to be like into some weird shit, and that's like whatever. Like, okay, cool, congratulations. But that's not what this was. It was like, okay, this is who he is, and they leaned into it initially. That was what he specifically stated, that he was telling the story from that perspective. Now, anybody that's rational will be like, if you can't leave that shit at the door, get the fuck out. Like, why would we even bring you on? But with Disney, and as they've done before, this isn't the only project, as they've done it before, they lean into that type of stuff. So if you are into that, or that's the defining thing about you, that you're black and gay and there's nothing else interesting about you, they want to lean into that stuff. So it is something else. Maybe it was criminal. I don't know. Must have happened for them to be
if
like,
it was criminal, I think we'd know about it. That's what I was saying. Like,
I mean, maybe, but I don't know. But it is weird because they were leaning into it earlier.
Well, we dug deep, and Six found those nasty pictures. I mean, and the sad part is those pictures are nothing even. I've seen worse pictures out of like other people and shit. WAP is worse than those pictures, really, at the end of the day. So it's not like Disney hasn't worked with any more degenerate people than this guy. And they're not saying anything other than it was creepy. The other part they're saying is he was difficult to work with and all this other crap. That is kind of strange for them to die on that hill, because they're going to get just raked over the coals by the gay community over this, probably. Then
maybe, but and that was something I speculated on, that because he was part of the checkbox mafia, that they'd have a whole pile of people from the different movements coming after him, all the alphabet folks. Well, but let me expand upon the idea that he was difficult to work with. That's also why he was no longer at The Witcher, because he wanted to adhere to the source material there. Do you think he was maybe
interesting?
Yeah, because I mean that goes way back. You can probably pick that article out of Bounding or somewhere like that. But he pushed back on that. This guy's got a really interesting past, set aside the OnlyFans thing, but because it sounded like he was removed from that team because he wanted to adhere to the source material, and that nobody there really did. And then he moves over to this X-Men property, gets 2 seasons written, and a third one kind of laid out, and then they ditch him. Could it be that he's difficult? I'm sorry, I'm playing devil's advocate.
I kind of I get where culture's coming from, and this is where I suggest people check out Andre's video that we dropped yesterday afternoon, because I think he does a really good job of balancing out all the angles of this situation and what could be. And you start to wonder, because at this point, only seeing the pictures that I've seen, I didn't want to see them. But as I said before, I've seen worse and heard worse.
That ain't
right.
Look, Disney ain't tripping off hiring anybody.
Exactly.
Raunchy shit. That's not a problem.
That's my point exactly. Like to me, this feels like very weak sauce for them to go after this guy for this.
I think what you meant was you've paid for worse.
True. But
I think
I never
that's
paid you for
nice.
those pictures. You can keep telling
I
me I
know.
owe you money, Paul, but I
You did.
don't.
I keep sending you
Unsolicited.
invoices. I'm sending
Unsolicited.
I'm sending the repossessors after you.
Didn't do that.
Repo
You
man.
could have the pictures back. Please take them back.
Here's the thing, and the script will bear me out on this. There's an awful lot of bad actors, and I don't mean actors. I mean people who are psychotic and hard to work with, running things in Hollywood and have for decades.
Yeah,
there are psychotic people that you kind of sort of put up with because sometimes the money is just too damn good, and you know that it's going to only represent 6 months of your life that year, and so you just deal with it.
Or they're crazy
that is
and
not
they produce really great stuff. Like that's the other part.
There's
that's the
that
worst
too.
Part.
That's true too. And then you're basically you have PTSD after a 5-year run with these people. But Hollywood tolerates some really bad individuals in the same way sports will tolerate really horrific human beings just because they can hit a ball, with a high percentage rate over a wall. This money bends the rules all over the place.
Oh, when you bring it in and talent. I mean, if you're really talented or you got the pockets, you can put up. Look, you're playing. This is a rule of life, man. It's not just with entertainment, man. People put up with a lot of different shit depending on how good you are at what it is that you do. But I don't personally think that the doing any degenerate shit has anything to do with really anybody in entertainment not getting a gig or getting put off a gig unless they did something criminal. That I don't think anybody believes that's the case. Something else had to be done, and it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what it actually was, because at least to my knowledge, they're still going forward with the actual work that he did.
At least with the first season that
It's
we
already
know.
made,
That's the
I
other
think.
thing I said. Well, the first season is. The second season's only been written, and I think they've done some voice work according to what scripted said or found. And here's where I'm kind of coming at this with, like, look, we don't know. Speculatively, there could be something on the horizon that's going to drop. We don't know yet. They may know that we don't. That's very possible. But what I'm seeing now, and I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Take the fact out of the matter that this guy is the kind of guy that we normally would, pile on, or however you want to put it. Let's just treat it like, okay, remember the way they piled onto Henry Cavill? They were saying a lot of the same shit about him when it came to Witcher. So I see where culture's coming from. I'm starting to wonder if they're shifting, even though he did exactly what they asked him to do and gate up X-Men, as Andre put it so eloquently. And now that they're trying to shift gears behind the scenes, they got to get rid of this guy because he's like, well, wait a minute, this is what you told me to do.
I just think that's giving him way too much credit. I really do. This is me personally. I think it's giving him way too much credit. I think it's just something out of left field. I'll agree.
It very well could be.
I do agree with the fact that may him being into whatever shit has little to probably nothing to do with it. I would lean towards that, but I don't think it has much to do with them like thinking that there's a cultural shift. I mean, if we're being very optimistic, sure, but I mean, I don't know, man. We all saw that reimagined Disney thing, man. They got a whole lot of host of other motherfuckers to get rid of if that's truly the case. I don't know.
Well, and that's where I was saying, I think they're just using it as an excuse unless we find out something more, I guess was.
Well,
I'm curious.
None of us care. None of us care that he's black and gay. And when this quote,
that's what I'm saying. Take that out of the equation.
I think that's out the equation altogether.
And my point is, when this quote came out several years ago, we thought, oh, we got a hero. We went, oh, this is great. This is what we need. And then we got that succession of videos. I think someone edited together that Disney, every single person working on shows were told, don't read the source material.
Oh, right? Yeah. Shout out Neurotic Perry Chan. They did that. Yeah.
That was a fantastic compilation and really quite tragic and arrogant and really pissed all of us off. I mean, again, we're all shaking our heads like, why do this on purpose? And I'm not going to, regurgitate all of that. But this was a great quote at the time. And we went, thank God. Oh my God, this is fantastic. But now we're thinking, what kind of problems did Beau cause on The Witcher amongst a bunch of people who caused problems?
Well, that's what I was thinking. And I'm not saying he's innocent of anything because we have no idea what he's even guilty of yet, really.
True.
They won't say, they won't comment. In fact, they have addressed certain things. And this is where I'm starting to wonder, because they've even addressed the whole morph being bi thing in a article, but when asked about the Beau De Mayo thing, they totally sidestepped the whole thing. You know, said the typical fluffy Hollywood BS about somebody like that. I think here's my point is I think if we get like a few months from now and we don't hear anything salacious about this guy come out, and then we suddenly hear that they're retooling season 2 with new writers, that's our answer right there. Is they are literally using this as an excuse, kind of like, you know, and I'm not trying to compare it to Gina Carano, but it's the same thing I feel where they use just her Instagram post as that's what we'll use as a target, when really it was all about the Beat Bop Booth thing, right? It was all about the people inside the company that were all tore up over Beat Bop Boop, right? Because she didn't respect the pronouns.
Yeah, we don't know why he's gone, but Eric, you got a new hire available.
There you go.
De Mayo?
Maybe. Well, and then on the other side, though, I will say
if he's talented and he's not a fucking dipshit and like he can leave all the gay black shit at the door, hit me up.
All I know is this. I know somebody who kind of knows him vicariously through somebody. It's what my old writing partner used to talk about. And I did bring this up already, but you didn't hear this, so I just wanted you to hear this. I asked him about the situation. He's like, yeah, I heard about that. It's pretty fucked up. I go, so have you heard anything about what it is? He goes, no, but for them to fire him like that, being gay and black, he said, brother must have fucked up. And he didn't use that exact term because he's a black dude. But
we can extrapolate. Yeah. Now, I don't know. I mean, because I think it was, I can't remember who I was talking to about this with the Witcher thing. I'm glad they got brought up. Like, that's intriguing, right? Ironic, maybe a little bit, but that's a net positive, right? If there's a guy around that's like, hey, this shit is not sticking to the source material, and that's the problem. Anybody else, we're like, oh, that's awesome, right? We think that was awesome. All right, we think that up.
There's two sides to that, because the people who made The Witcher, they really genuinely hated the source material.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You can tell. Whereas De Mayo, he probably really did connect with the source material, but then he may have made it a little bit too much, like what he made him connect with it, which means that now it may connect less with others because he really honed in on what made him connect with it. You see, like, there doesn't have to be anything inconsistent in that. Yeah.
We'll certainly find out when the X-Men debuts, and if Mystique has a strap on, then we know what's going on.
Wednesday, and Mystique doesn't need one.
And I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's true. Mystique can make her own.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
In the comics, they changed it so that she can actually turn her eggs into semen.
Oh, fuck, that's right. And what Nightcrawler fucking...
I missed that.
Don't get me started on that. I can go on another rabbit hole.
It's very progressive of them.
It's a dumb idea that Chris Claremont had that was rightly rejected for being stupid and retarded.
Shout out Jim Shooter.
Yeah. But they were like, well, let's bring that back. So this is like the 4th time they fucked with.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I think they might use that, and this is just a wild speculation of mine. Only thing I have to go off of this on is the Empire write-up. And that is because everybody leaned into, okay, the new morph is bi now, right? And he has a complicated relationship with Wolverine. So everybody instantly jumped to him and Wolverine are going to have some kind of bi relationship or whatever.
He's got one with Cyclops now in the comics. So.
I know. And I thought that too at first. And then I thought it through a little bit, and I reread the entire thing again. And I had this epiphany. I'm like, they're trying to push this very thing that you just brought up, Flash, that the shape-shifting mutants can not only change the shape of their bodies, but can literally change their sex. So I'm wondering if in the past, at some point, Morph had tricked Wolverine into thinking he was a woman. They slept together, had an illegitimate child, and now that illegitimate child is the new Morph. And that is that complicated relationship.
Oh, God.
How much you want to bet?
Morph showed back up at the end of the 5th season.
That doesn't mean doesn't mean my theory doesn't hold water. What does that got to do with that?
He was around quite a bit. Like Morph didn't.
Your theory is disgusting. I do miss the Alan
but now
Cummings
all of a sudden there's a new
version
Morph
of Nightcrawler.
Morph didn't die.
They said it's not the same Morph though in the write-up. That's my point.
Well, it's because he's not. He has the look of the comic book morph now. So they're probably going to say that Mr. Sinister did something.
Never mind.
Mr. Sinister obviously did something because he brought him back, and that's his true form, and he didn't want to show it until now or something. That's what that's going to be.
This clip was taken from Midnight's Edge in the Morning, which streams live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the Midnight's Edge main channel. There, you can send in your live questions and comments before clips and full stream replays are uploaded to Midnight's Edge live archives. We are also on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, and Facebook, so smash that like, help share, subscribe, and join us.